Yes! Alrighty. What's up, everybody? It is I, your tribal god of extreme, Peter Joseph here, for a beautiful Sunday evening video. Right here on, once again, the very evil, very dark and mysterious. Kind of get lost along the way, but it is the dark, mysterious, and evil Shadows Lair 2.0. This is episode number 77 of the Shadows Lair 2.0 series. Thank you for watching on this Sunday evening, July the 13th, 2025. Make sure you like the video, hit that subscribe button down there in the Shadows Lair, otherwise known as my pants, otherwise known as the description box below on this channel, and my other channels as well. Show your love and support. Hey, we already hit the quarter mark. On our way to 50 subscribers on this channel. Hopefully get to 100, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But continue to hit that subscribe button, and hopefully we'll get to that magical number of 50, and hopefully get to 100 by next year, maybe, but we'll see what happens with that. But thank you for subscribing so far, and keep subscribing to this channel and my other channels as well. All the links are down below in the gobbledygook. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Show your love and support there. Leave a comment on the video if you like, but if you leave stupid comments, bye-bye to you. Go cry to your mama, because you're going to be blocked, sent to the Shadow Realm, placed in an Iron Maiden, and Satan will eat your soul. So please do not do that. If you want to do that shit, go to your dead channel that nobody fucking cares about. And do all that shit. Not going to do it on mine. And that's that. And don't forget to tap that bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one, because if you don't hit the bell, well, you're pretty much SOL, and you know what that means. Ha ha! And don't forget to share the video all over the internet, and all that big shit. And if you're brand new here, well, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you're going to enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a cold one, which I will be doing in a little bit, for Evolution. So, sit back, relax, grab yourself your own cold one, put your feet up and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. You know, pretty much you can fuck off and get out of here. And that's that. Alright, everybody. I meant to do videos earlier today, but I had to go out to do some stuff. So, I wanted to do my all-in review and the Great American Bash. I will do that after Evolution. So some of Evolution will be tied into the Great American Bash. So we get that. So, but that's gonna be later tonight, and then tomorrow we'll talk about TNA, Ring of Honor, and that's pretty much it. And maybe, well, I'll see if I can get it up by the afternoon. But if you want to give my Saturday Night's Main Event thoughts, not a review, I'm just gonna give nitpick on some things, Goldberg's final match, and how WWE fucked him. After his match, he lost to Walter. Walter retained the Raw World title. And then everybody's in the ring, like DDP, Doug Dillinger, former WCW security guard, other dignitaries were in the ring. He goes to cut a promo, and he does 30 seconds on NBC. What? NBC, you can suck a fat cock. Well, not a peacock, but a big, fat peacock for doing that shit. So if you want to hear Goldberg's full speech, go on YouTube. That was really, really, really fucked up by NBC. To cut his speech off 30 seconds in. That was fucked up. But we'll talk a little bit more about Saturday Night's Main Event and Seth Rollins' legit injury and how long he might be out for tomorrow. And along with TNA. Not Ring of Honor, we'll do TNA because Ring of Honor was already, it conflicted with my reviews for SmackDown and everything like that, so. But anyway, we're done with the weekend. We're done with this long weekend of wrestling. I mean, next weekend we got Slammiversary. And that's pretty much it. So we talk about more wrestling next weekend. And then pretty much the rest of July, we're done. And then we start the unofficial first weekend of August with SummerSlam from MetLife Stadium. 2-night event, so it's going to be a long 2-night event. And we got a lot more stuff coming in August. We got another doubleheader with Forbidden Door at the same time. Well, different times. With Forbidden Door at about, I think, 2 or 3 o'clock, because it's in England. And then we got NXT Heatwave at 7 o'clock. So Forbidden Door might lead into Heatwave. So we're going to have another marathon stream. Not me particularly, maybe Issa, but we'll see what happens with that when we get to August the 23rd. And then August the 31st, we got afternoon wrestling in Paris, of course, with Clash in Paris. So that's going to start at 3 p.m. because it's like a 5 hour, it's 5 hours difference time-wise, So lots of stuff coming up in the next couple of months. I will be here through, hopefully all through this month and definitely all through August. And then September gets a little bit dicey, but we'll see what happens with that. And then we see what happens with the end of the year. But we got that. Alright, everybody. Thanks for watching on this July 13th, 2025. Hope you had a great Sunday. You know, we start the midpoint of July. We start a new work week. It's gonna be raining like cats and dogs this entire week. On and off here in the Northeast. I hope it doesn't rain Saturday because I do gotta go to a mega event on Saturday night in Jersey, so I don't want to get rained on. So we'll see what happens with that. And then Sunday, we got Slammiversary, so, which I will not be at, but I'll be at a different event, but we move on with that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, coming up in about 25 minutes or so, it's coming back, Evolution 2. So this is your exclusive and official WWE Evolution 2 Electric Boogaloo predictions. Evolution 2 comes your way from the State Farm Arena in Hotlanta, GA, or as Michael P.S. Hayes used to sing, Bad Street, Atlanta, GA. Dun, 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 dun. So, got that. Good song. Love that song religiously. The Freebirds theme was probably one of the most epic theme songs of the 80s, next to Hogan's, of course. Can't go around with Hogan and Derringer. God bless you, Rick Derringer. Passed away about a month ago. The man who did Real American before Hogan took it over from Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda, the then tag team champions before WrestleMania 1. And then Hogan had Eye of the Tiger, which then went into the Rock and Wrestling theme, which then went into Real American, which then went into Voodoo Child. Well, actually, before Voodoo Child, it went into the first WCW theme, American Made, and then it went into Voodoo Child, which went back to American Made, which then went back to the NWO theme, Voodoo Child, and then went back to, before Rick Derringer sadly passed away, and Hogan's career go bye-bye. Back to Real American, blah, 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 blah. But we move on. Alright, so, should be a good show tonight. The second annual version of Evolution. The original Evolution was in 2018 with a lot of people. The Mae Young Classic, which Io won. I think we all know that. So, it's a great time for all the women for women's wrestling. We saw people like Io, Mommy Rhea Ripley, Sasha Banks at the time, Bayley, Becky, Charlotte. I think we saw Kyrie for the first time. We saw Io I believe for the first time, and most of the Mae Young Classic people. So 7 years ago, Evolution happened, and we're talking about it having another Evolution pretty much since last year. It got shot down, and then this year it was supposed to be in Connecticut the week before. July 4th weekend, but it got moved to this weekend because Tony Khan, not Well, Tony Khan and Nick Khan basically wanted some competition, and then we have a tremendous weekend of shows plus StarCast. So, after tonight, we can go back to the hotel. We can go back to our normal lives, and then we'll have to wait till a big weekend until SummerSlam weekend. And that's that. But, at first, I wasn't really going to watch this pay-per-view because, the card looked like shit. The build-up was shit. But then on this past Tuesday night, with Ava Rain's Evolution Summit, with all the NXT stars beating the crap out of each other, they're like, oh yeah, let's go watch this. This is going to be exciting. And then Io and Mommy Rhea Ripley were announced. Jade and Naomi was announced for a no-holds-barred match, with a little stipulation in there too. All the matches that came about to make this I thought it was going to be an 8-match card, but 7 matches isn't bad. So it's going to run about 2.5 hours. So we'll be done by 9:30-ish. So we can go, after tonight, we can have our sensible dinner, or have a late dinner, and then go to bed. Or do our reviews and then go to bed. Or do whatever the fuck you want after that. But 7-match card, it's going to be great. We got Michael Cole and Bad News Wade Barrett. Michael Cole, I'm afraid I got some bad news for you. You have to sit next to me for 3 hours. Ha! Michael. Alright, we got that. Spanish announce team, Marcelo Rodriguez and Chili Soto, the legend. Lucha Libre del Mundo con visión excelente. Univision Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio, ay. Anthony Jolese, ay. Did you see Mr. Iguana get stink-faced by Lola Vice? I wish that was me, yesterday. But you're a fucking doll. Who fears Osito? Ah! Yeah. Mr. Iguana, you lucky bastard. He had a match with Lola Vice, I think somewhere in Mexico this past weekend. And he got a face full of Puerto Rican ash from Lola Vice. It should have been me. Because I wouldn't. I would just like, sell it, but then afterwards, like, and then off camera. But I digress on that. Alright, so we got that. Lillian Garcia back on doing the ring announcing. That's that. Michael Cole, Jackie Redmond, Badgers Wade Barrett, and Big E doing the pre-show that nobody cares about. And that's that. Anybody see the AEW All-In post-show? Oh, that was hilarious. Toni Storm. We gotta have Toni Storm at every post-show. She was great. Talking about, she said something about my panties had been filled and creamed and something like that. And then I was like, what? And then she's like, I'm going to sell them. No, I'm not going to sell them. I don't even wear panties. And Tony Khan's like, and then she picks up Renee Paquette and goes, bye-bye. Who knows where they went? They probably went out the door, down the hall to the bathroom to fuck. I don't know. Toni Storm is a legend. She is a legend in her own mind. God damn you, Juice Robinson. Who got rid of the beard. He doesn't look like Captain Caveman anymore. Looks like a young Bo Dallas, which isn't bad. I don't know how Tony feels about that. You know how, certain women like guys with a manly beard, because it tickles their little. Rosa loves it. Rosa religiously likes my manly beard, which I do gotta cut, but it is what it is. But she likes my manly beard, and when I religiously, she gets so Anyway, moving on. Alright, I wasted 15 minutes. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into these predictions really quickly because the pay-per-view is about to start in 15 minutes. And blah, blah, blah. Alright, I'm going to go from top to bottom because we know Io and Mommy Rhea Ripley is the main event. So we're going to go from top to bottom. Like I do when I go down on my lady. I go from top to the bottom and everywhere in between. You know you love it, ladies. That's that. Alright, match number 1 out the gate. We got a triple threat match for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. We got the champion, the Man! Becky Lynch taking on Bayley. Give me a hug. And I'll take it on the Lassie Beach from Ireland, Lyra Valkyria. These three ladies can't get out of each other's way. You know, Becky beating Lyra at the, I believe, the last pay-per-view to win the title, and then got her hand raised by Lyra, even though Lyra was, you know, being a spoiled sport about it. And then, you know, Becky wins the title, and Lyra's trying to get back the title. Bayley wants the title. She wants revenge. What happened at WrestleMania? So Bayley and Lyra have a Bayley and Becky have a match, which gets ruined by Lyra. And I was like, yep, there's gonna be a triple threat coming out of this. And what happened? About a week or so later, Bayley faces Lyra for a chance to face Becky at Evolution. We know the double pin. And then this past week, they had the little segment where everybody, Lyra stands tall, beats Bayley and Becky up, says, "Who's the bitch now?" And then she like holds up the title, meaning she's not gonna win. So we had that. So it should be a pretty good match. I'm going with Becky Lynch to retain, and still your Women's Intercontinental Champion. I'm gonna go with the Man, Becky Lynch. But it is what it is. And it sucks for her husband, Seth Rollins, who got injured last night off a simple springboard moonsault. Eli Drake moved, and Seth came down, his knee buckled, and he went down immediately. And then he's talking to Paul Heyman. The medic comes over. Jessica Carr comes over, says, "What's wrong?" So I don't know if Seth said, "I heard a pop. Something happened. He sprained it." We don't know the severity of it right now. But they had to change the finish on the fly. That's why Eli won clean with the BFT. Because Seth was supposed to win the match, obviously. But, you know, injuries happen sometimes at the right time, sometimes at the worst time. And how is a really bad time for Seth because, you know, he's going to, you know, we're thinking about what's he going to do at SummerSlam. So hopefully this is not, and I think he's gonna get an MRI or an X-ray today or tomorrow before Raw. See what the severity is. Hopefully it's a couple weeks, maybe 4 weeks, about a month. He'll be out of SummerSlam definitely, but maybe he'll come back for Clash in Paris or maybe sometime in September. But it was a really bad thing in like a 4 to 6, maybe more than that, maybe 8 months. He might not make WrestleMania, and he has that Money in the Bank contract, so I don't know how that would work. Even if he's hurt, maybe he can try to cash in, but then he'll just drop the belt if he's still hurt. But if he can get better by then, cash in, maybe at the Elimination Chamber or at Mania. If he's fine, if he's not 100% and he cashes in, then he's gonna lose right then and there. To who? I don't know. Maybe Cody, Roman, who knows? But, you know, just an unfortunate injury to Seth freaking Rollins, so hopefully he gets better, so my prayers go out to the architect, the revolutionary, the visionary. He is Seth freaking Rollins! So we got that. Alright, so his hot wife, Becky Lynch, will become the champion. Will retain the championship over Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, the Lassie Beach from Ireland. We got that. Alright, match number 2, we got a fatal 4-way for that case, and it's going to be contested for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. We got the ladies of Judgment Day. Well, it was supposed to be Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan, but since Liv hurt her shoulder, we may see her tonight on commentary. Who knows? But so Raquel was gonna go it alone, but then Roxanne Perez, who's kind of sort of not technically in Judgment Day until Finn Balor and JD McDumpbuck and Dom Dom said, "All right, you're in," and then and then Nicole's like, "Oh," and people's like, "Oh, you could be her partner, why not?" So then Raquel's like, "All right, you're in." So Raquel and Roxanne teaming up for, I believe, the first time as tag team champions. Can they really coexist? We'll have to see. They take on Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, who we didn't know they could coexist, but, Charlotte still wants to do her own thing after Friday Night SmackDown, where Lexi pinned Kyrie in a botched finish. And then they seem like they're, coexisting, but, we'll see what happens in the ring. So we got them. They're taking on Del Ruca. That's Delta and Sol Ruca from NXT. And we'll see what happens with that after Sol Ruca retained the NXT Women's Championship over Izzy Dame. I was surprised. I wanted Izzy to win, and the eventual Delta heel turn, which might happen tonight. You never know. They're teasing it, but we'll see what happens with that. So Sol Ruca and Delta, they team up, and they take on the Kabuki Warriors, my first and second amazingly hot Asian wives. You know them, you love them, you can't really get enough of them. Well, I can't, because, but it is what it is. So we start with my first amazingly hot Asian wife. Come here, baby. Asuka! Nobody is ready for Asuka, but what is? That's right. Peter Joseph-san geek. Exactly. No, go away. Okay, so Asuka and my second amazing hot Asian wife, the pirate princess herself, who loves to retweet me on X. I am not kidding about that. And that's you, Kairi Sane. Mwah! Ah, yes. So Asuka and Kairi return as the Kabuki Warriors, going after those tag team titles they've held for about 3-4 times. This is going to be a pretty good match. I can pretty much eliminate Delta and Sol Ruca. I would love to see another double Soul Snatcher. We'll see what happens with that. I'm worried about Charlotte and Lexi. They could pick up the victory here, but I'm being biased, and I'm going to go with the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi, to regain the women's tag team titles and hopefully go on a nice little run with it until maybe Liv Morgan comes back. Whatever that might be. I'm hearing that Liv might not be back through the rest of this year. That sucks. So Dom Dom got his own problems, with Roxanne trying to, feed him chicken tenders. Nothing wrong with that. A way to a man's heart is with chicken tenders. Remember that, ladies. Rosa knows that religiously. But we got that. Anyway, we move on. Alright, so that's match number 2. So the Kabuki Warriors will become the new Women's Tag Team Champions. And that's that. Alright, match number 3. Battle Royal for a world title shot of the winner's choosing. Well, the brand's choosing. Either Raw, SmackDown, or possibly NXT. Not very many notables in this match. Chelsea Green might be in it. Bianca might be in it. Asuka could be in it. Kairi. Don't know, but the participants are the ever-popular TBA. This is for a championship shot at Clash in Paris. I would not be surprised if Asuka is in the match. Because she'll lose the match, the women's tag team title match, to come back for the Battle Royal, win the Battle Royal, and guess who she'll face? Io in Paris, which, though I would like to have it at SummerSlam, but we'll see what happens with that. Either that or Bianca Belair might win this. So I'm going to go with either Asuka or Bianca Belair. But could be anybody. It could be the guy in the woman in the 15th row about to go to the bathroom, take a mean shit. I don't know. Who knows? We got that. Alright, match number 4 for the SmackDown Women's title. This match is going to be pretty hot and hot, meaning hot women in this match. We got, it's Tiffy time! Daddy! What? I got a big match tonight, you gonna watch? Yes. I'm gonna watch. I hope you win. I'm gonna beat that Trish Stratus. You know, she told me everything I know. I looked up to her so much back in the Attitude Era. Yep, I understand that. I watched the Attitude Era. And, sorry, Sunshine, but I did have a little crush on Trish Stratus. That's okay, Daddy. I'm gonna beat her ass. Because it's my time. It's Tiffy time. That's right, Sunshine. Right. You gonna be there to watch? I will watch. Alright, so we got Tiffy time. Tiffany Stratton taking on the lovely Trish Stratus, who's 49 years old. She's a year older than me. What? So she has 2 kids. Because, I would love to... Back then, I think everybody and their mother had a freaking hard-on for Trish Stratus, Sonny, Tori Wilson, Stacey Keebler, Candice Michelle, I mean... Killer Kelly, maybe even Molly Holly, I don't know, Tara, Tara, Victoria, my sweetheart. Jackie Moore. The other Jackie, I forgot her last name, Jackie Gator. I mean, there was so many hot women back then in the Ruthless Aggression and Attitude Era. And now, as you go into that, you have Melina. Oh, Melina was so fucking hot. Who else? Christy Hemmers. Was, as we called her in the back, Christy Hammers. Because she used to hammer everybody in the back. We all know that. Nydia back in the day when she was hot. Lot of great looking women. Then the Bella Sluts come in. Gail Kim. I mean, how can you not love Gail Kim? Mia Yim or Mishin, or whatever you want to call her. But we got some good looking women now. I mean, Mariah May, Jordan Grace. JC Jane, Fallon Henley, my girl Jasmine Nix, Jada Parker, who's going to be in this Battle Royal, Lash Legend, of course. Thea Hale, I think, is in it. Tatum Paxley, Izzy Dame are going to be in it. This is it's going to be a hard, that Battle Royal is going to be so hard to predict, but I'm going to go with Bianca. If it's anybody from NXT, I'm going with Lash or Jada. I'd like to be Jada, but I hate going against my girl Lash Legend. Get done, Miss Trick Winnie. Trick, you gotta put a ring on that finger, boy. She's been pretty much in every one of those diss videos. I ain't ever backing down from no average Joe. I ain't ever backing down from no average troll. Damn right. Alright, we got that. Alright, back to Tiffany and Trish Stratus. Going with Tiffany, obviously, to retain. And then, we'll see what happens with that if Jade comes out and has a stare down. Because Jade's the next opponent for Tiffy Tiff at SummerSlam. But then you gotta worry about Naomi possibly cashing in tonight. Or at SummerSlam, or any time before then. We'll see. We got that. Speaking of Jade and Naomi, they are going to battle. I mean, they're not going to battle. They're going to fight in a no-holds-barred match. But the caveat here is Bianca Belair is the special guest referee. Now, why couldn't we do this match a couple of months ago? I think Jade's going to win this match. I wouldn't be surprised if Naomi does, because who knows what's in that briefcase? She's got, like, freaking razor blades. She's got a fucking grenade. I don't know if that's a live grenade. Oh, that'll be bad. She's got grenades. She's got, like, different paraphernalia. Probably got a staple gun, a taser. Who knows what's in that fucking briefcase? But it's going to be crazy as shit tonight, as the great Jade Briscoe, reach for the sky, boy, would say. And, yeah. I think Jade's going to win tonight. But I think Jade wins tonight, beats Tiffy Tiff at SummerSlam, but then Naomi comes out, beats up Jade, cashes in, and then at SummerSlam we're going to get a new SmackDown Women's Champion, and I said this for months, that Naomi will win at SummerSlam. But we shall see what happens with that. But tonight, Jade will win. And that's that. Alright, then we go to the NXT Women's Championship. We got the champion, Jacy Jayne of Fatal Influence, along with her besties, Fallon, don't call her Dawn Henley, and my girl Jasmine Nix. She takes on the number one contender, Jordynne Grace, who's going to be at ringside with the lovely Blake Monroe. Oh my. Mariah May, what are you going to call it? Alright, Jordynne and Blake had a great tag team match. They won over Fallon Henley and Jacy last night at the Great American Bash. But now, Jordynne goes for the title. I think she will win, because I think Stephanie Brooker kind of spoiled it. So I'm going to go with Jordynne Grace to win the NXT Women's title. I would not be surprised when we see Masha Slamovich, who was there last night. I think she'll be in the building tonight, because next Sunday at Slammiversary, Masha will face either Jacy Jayne or Jordynne Grace for an all-or-nothing match for both the NXT and Knockouts World title. So somebody next Sunday is coming out with 2 belts. And I think it might be Jordynne Grace, but we'll see what happens with that. But I do see Masha coming out probably at the end of the match. Or she might be in a crowd. Who knows? Well, we got that. Then the main event, ladies and gentlemen, for the Women's World title, Io Sky, my third amazingly hot Asian wife. She takes on Mommy Rhea Ripley, My Brutality, in I believe their 4th match on the main roster. Io has won every single match, including the one in NXT, so if you think about it, it's 4-0. So Mommy's looking to finally break the streak, if you will, against Io, regain her title, and go on to SummerSlam to probably face, well, I don't think she's going to face Jade, but face somebody. I don't see this happening. I see Io, and I'm not being biased, I love Mommy Rhea Ripley, religiously love her. Not because of her theme songs that were done by Ash Costello, my sweetheart, and my boy Chris Motionless from Motionless and White. That's notwithstanding. I like Rhea Ripley, ever since her NXT days when she was like beating the crap out of Raquel Rodriguez near the end of her run. But in any case, I'm going with Io to win, go 5-0 on Mommy, and then possible date with Destiny with Asuka at SummerSlam. But we shall see what happens with that. Alright, so that is it for my predictions. The show is just about on the air, 3 minutes in. So I'm a little bit late, as always. Alright, so to run down my predictions once again, I got Becky Lynch to retain her Intercontinental title over Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. I got Asuka and Kairi to win the Women's Tag Team titles over Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez, and Charlotte, Flair, and Lexi, and Delta Ruka, so Ruka and Delta. I got Bianca Belair or Asuka to win the Battle Royal for a chance at a title shot at Clash in Paris. I got Tiffy Tiff to retain over Trish Stratus for the SmackDown Women's title. I got Jade Cargill to beat Naomi in a no-holds-barred match with Bianca Belair as a special guest ref. Might be a rep bump here and there in that match, we'll see. I got Jordynne Grace to win the NXT Women's title from Jacy Jayne. And, like I said before, Io, once again, beats Mommy Rhea Ripley in pretty much a rematch from WrestleMania. So we got that. So it should be a great show. 7 matches on the card. We're going to see Nikki Bella back. We can see Paige returning. Jazz might be coming back. Kelly might be back. Michelle McCool might be back. Who knows might be back tonight. But it's going to be a great event for the ladies. I think it'll do pretty well tonight. Not as great as All In, which surpassed WrestleMania's gate, which was and time, which was crazy. I thought that was going to go 4.5 hours. We went 6 hours, almost 6 hours. With, we went about 5.5 hours with All In, but it surpassed fucking WrestleMania, which was insane. Tony Khan, you gotta stop that shit, please. We can't stay up for 5.5 hours. Come on, stop. But we did. And, we got that. Alright, I am out of here, guys. Thanks for watching episode 77 of The Shadows Lair. Hope you have a great night. Enjoy Evolution 2. We'll talk about that tomorrow, or later tonight, or maybe tomorrow. But until next time, my friends, enjoy the pay-per-view. I'll see you guys next time. Peace!